Your operation is a little bit different than most. Tell me how you're different than a lot of feedlots.
We're different because we're a 100% naturally finished feedlot operation. So, and we own 100% of the cattle that are in both of our facilities, and we raise them from, we're a finishing yard, so we raise them to harvest for Whole Foods is our major customer.
Okay, so what makes your cattle different than other cattle that are raised in other feedlots, commercial feedlots?
We're a never ever 3 program, so we've defined that as no antibiotics, growth hormones, or animal byproducts from birth all the way through harvest. And the cattle are on, they also have to be on pasture for 2/3 of their life, so we're only finishing them for 5 to 6 months, typically buying in a lot of yearlings. If we're buying calves, we're trying to keep them in a pasture setting or in a backgrounder to meet those standards.
So what's the average length of stay in your facilities?
About 160 days, so around anywhere from 5 to 6 months.
So what do you feed them?
Barley is our primary feedstuff in northern Maine. Our New York facility is primarily corn-based, and we use some byproducts or co-products, distillers grains, wet distillers, dry distillers. But in northern Maine, it's primarily barley. We feed a few potato byproducts. We also feed some distillers grains there as well. So.
How long have you been in existence?
Pineland Farms, the beef operation, has been around for about 7 years. The facility, the northern Maine facility, only about 5.5 years. I've been up there managing that feedlot since it started. And the New York facility, we just purchased that in February, so that's fairly new. So each yard has capacity for about 2,400, 2,500 head. And we turn them over about twice a year.
So where do you get your cattle from?
Primarily southern states, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, West Virginia. We do as much in the Northeast, New England area as possible, but that only accounts for probably 25% of the animals that we use. So we have developed some really good relationships with a lot of cow-calf ranchers down in the Virginia area, and we're just continuing to work on those because we feel like the ranch direct is really what works best for us.
Now, obviously, those calves still have to meet that 3 rule.
They do, absolutely, and everything has to be age verified and source, and we have affidavits that have to be signed and follow the calf through the process. We've just now, this last year, started the Global Animal Partnership auditing process because Whole Foods has required that from us. So that's another step that we've tried to use to differentiate ourselves between other natural programs.
As a cattle producer, what do you think the outlook? Are you going to do anything different in 2012? What do you think the outlook is?
For us, I think the outlook is really positive. That market has been really strong. We were somewhat nervous that the natural would be somewhat of a niche, but it seems like it's here to stay. Whole Foods has a large demand for the product, so we're really excited about 2012. Our biggest concern is commodities, of course. The barley market this year was really challenging in our area, and trying to control those costs and do some risk management, I think in the future is really going to be very important to our operation.
What's the long-range goal of your company?
We would like to just continue to grow. We'd like to be at about 5,000 head in both yards eventually, and I don't know if that will happen, but we're just continuing to grow that market in the Northeast. And we've also have a Mid-Atlantic program. We don't own the cattle, but we market cattle in the Mid-Atlantic region too, so we just want to continue to grow both of those programs.
Awesome. Kristi White here with us today, and a little bit different type of a cattle situation, but the outlook for 2012 looks really good. I'm Pam Fretwell.